Star Trek fans out there will beat up on me if I don't at least ask one or two questions related to that show. I want to ask about auditioning for it, because actors go on auditions all the time. And I suspect they go on them and they just say, oh, I hope I get this role. They don't say to themselves, this role is going to change my life forever. And I suspect that's probably how you view that television show. What were your thoughts when you were auditioning, and were you surprised at the life that it's had?
Well, you know, auditioning is a two-way street. There's the actor that's auditioning, but there's also the producer who's doing the decision-making, casting. And with Star Trek, we had an extraordinarily wise and philosophic man. Gene Rodenberry was a person who wanted to make a statement with his show, as well as have an entertaining, engaging show. He felt that he wanted to make some commentaries on contemporary society, and he wanted to use science fiction as a metaphor for issues of the time. And here he created the show called Star Trek that takes place on a vast starship, the USS Enterprise. He said this starship is a metaphor for Starship Earth, and the strength of this starship lay in its diversity, coming together and working in concert as a team. And so you saw that in the makeup of the casting. You saw a white captain, James T. Kirk, representing North America. But you also saw an African representative, and she was a woman, played by Nichelle Nichols. And there was an Asian character representing the other part of the globe. But diversity was beyond just that. At that time, there was the Cold War, at probably the coldest point in the Cold War. And yet we had, this is the 23rd century, we had a character, a trusted member of the team, named Pavel Chekhov. He was a Russian, proud of his Russian heritage. So also diversity of history, diversity of political background. And to really underscore diversity, we had a first officer, Spock, who was half Earthling and the other half Vulcan. His father was from the planet Vulcan, mother an Earthwoman. So Gene Rodenberry was that kind of guy. I met him, I was introduced to him, and it was a very different kind of audition. In most auditions, you read the script and you have some conversation with the usually a battery of people, the producer, the writer, the advertising company, and so forth. But in this case, it was just Gene Rodenberry, and we talked about current events, books we had read, movies we enjoyed, and that was it. So it was a two-way street. He was prepared to cast someone. As a matter of fact, he told me later he wanted to find someone who was au courant and well-read, and the cast turned out to be exactly that. And so he was looking for something beyond just the acting talent. He obviously had done his homework on me, and so I got cast, and I was Sulu on both the TV series and the series of movies.